Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Dr. Strong and we're going to be talking today about the healthy food that's secretly feeding your harmful gut bacteria, and even health experts eat this daily. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Dr. Strong. My mission is to help as many people as possible. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new to or if you're a returning viewer, then thank you for your support. I really appreciate that. How I do my videos is that I'm going to have an action plan for you at the end of the video where I'm going to break down the phases that I use to help patients with SIBO or bacterial issues in their gut to help correct those. And I do this in a PDF so that if you ever want it, then you can ask me and I can send that over to you, and you'll get all the checklists and all of that with it. So let's go ahead and start. This so-called healthy food is consumed by 90% of health conscious people every single day, but it's secretly feeding the harmful bacteria in your gut and making your digestive problems even worse. The health industry, even worse than that, is that the health industry promotes it as essential for good health. Can you guess what it is? Well, it's fiber specifically, the wrong types of fiber that most people are overdosing on. And so, like I said, I'm Dr. Strong, and what I'm about to reveal to you will completely change how you think about fiber and why your gut problems might be getting worse despite eating healthy. So, if you've been loading up on high fiber foods, taking fiber supplements, and following high fiber diets because you think it's good for your gut, but you're still dealing with bloating, gas, constipation, and other digestive issues, this video will be a game changer. The truth is, the wrong types of fiber can be one of the most damaging things for people with compromised gut health, and I'm going to show you exactly why. So, here's the fiber myth. Let me start by the shocking truth that the idea that all fiber is good fiber is one of the biggest myths in nutrition. The health industry has convinced us that we need 25 to 35 grams of fiber daily, and the more the better. But this one-size-fits-all approach is destroying millions of people's gut health. Here's what they don't tell you. There are different types of fiber, and some types can be incredibly harmful if you have gut dysfunction. Not everybody is the same. The fiber that's supposed to feed your good bacteria can actually feed harmful bacteria instead, creating a vicious cycle of digestive problems. Think about it. If fiber was universally good for everyone, why do so many people feel worse when they increase their fiber intake? Why do high fiber diets often cause more bloating, gas, and digestive distress? The answer lies in understanding which fibers help the answer lies in which fibers help and which fibers harm. And most people are getting this completely wrong. So let's talk about the types of fiber. So there's soluble fiber, which dissolves in water to form a gel-like substance, can be beneficial in small amounts for most people. It's found in oats, apples, beans, and psyllium husk, generally easier to digest than insoluble fiber. Insoluble fiber doesn't dissolve in water. It acts like a scrub brush in your intestines, so it kind of scrubs the plaque and gunk in there. It's found in wheat bran, vegetables, and whole grains. Can be highly irritating to an inflamed gut. Then there's fermentable fiber, FODMAPs. Rapidly fermented by gut bacteria, can feed both good and bad bacteria, found in garlic, onions, beans, and many healthy foods, a major trigger for SIBO and bacterial overgrowth. Then there's resistant starch. It acts like fiber in your colon, highly fermentable, and can cause rapid bacterial growth, found in green bananas, cooked and cooled potatoes. Can trigger massive bloating in sensitive individuals. So the problem is most high fiber foods and supplements contain the wrong types of fiber for people with gut issues. The harmful bacteria feeding frenzy. Here's what happens when you consume the wrong types of fiber with gut dysfunction. So SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. When you have SIBO, bacteria that should be in your colon have migrated to your small intestine. Fermentable fibers feed these misplaced bacteria, causing massive bloating within hours of eating, severe gas and abdominal distension, diarrhea or constipation, and malabsorption of nutrients. Then there's pathogenic bacterial overgrowth. Harmful bacteria like Klebsiella, pathogenic E. coli, and Clostridium species love certain fibers. When you feed them, they multiply rapidly and crowd out beneficial bacteria. They produce toxic metabolites that damage your gut lining, and they create more inflammation and leaky gut. They become harder to eliminate with treatments. Candida and yeast feeding. While yeast primarily feeds on sugar, certain fibers can be broken down into simple sugars by bacteria, which then feed yeast overgrowth. This creates a bacterial yeast ecosystem that is hard to break, leads to chronic yeast infections and systemic candida, causes sugar cravings and mood swings, makes antifungal treatments less effective. Now here's the vicious cycle. More fiber leads to more food for harmful bacteria, which equals more bacterial overgrowth, more gut inflammation, worse symptoms, more fiber recommended by doctors, and this cycle just continues. The worst fiber offenders, let me reveal the specific high fiber foods that are secretly sabotaging your gut health. Number one is wheat bran and high fiber cereals. Extremely high in insoluble fiber that scrapes inflamed gut lining, contains gluten and other inflammatory compounds, often recommended by doctors for constipation but makes things worse, can cause severe bloating and abdominal pain. Number two is beans and legumes, loaded with fermentable fibers, oligosaccharides, major SIBO triggers for most people, contain lectins and other anti-nutrients. Even healthy people get gas from beans. That's bacterial fermentation. Number three is high FODMAP vegetables like garlic, onions, asparagus, artichokes, Brussels sprouts, rapidly fermented by bacteria in the small intestine, can cause immediate bloating and digestive distress, often the healthy foods people eat more of when trying to heal their gut. Number four is fiber supplements like psyllium husk, methylcellulose, and inulin supplements often contain massive amounts of fermentable fiber, can cause severe bacterial overgrowth. Many people take these thinking they're helping their gut, but they may not be. Number five is green smoothies and high fiber fruits, apples, pears, stone fruits with skin, concentrated fiber without the natural balance, often combined with high FODMAP vegetables and can trigger immediate digestive symptoms. And then the big one, whole grains like brown rice, quinoa, oats in large amounts, high in both soluble and insoluble fiber, can feed bacterial overgrowth, often cause more digestive issues than refined grains for sensitive people. So the fiber paradox, here's the paradox that confuses everyone. Fiber can be both helpful and harmful depending on the state of your gut. When fiber helps, you have a healthy, balanced microbiome, no bacterial overgrowth or pathogenic infections, strong digestive function and gut barrier, adequate stomach acid and enzyme production. When it hurts, you have SIBO or bacterial overgrowth, pathogenic bacteria, yeast infections, leaky gut syndrome or gut inflammation, poor digestive function, or low stomach acid. The problem is most people with gut issues are told to eat more fiber when they actually need to reduce it temporarily while healing their gut. It's like trying to put out a fire by adding more fuel. So the low fiber healing approach. Here's how I help people with this. So for people with gut dysfunction, a temporary low fiber approach can be incredibly healing. Phase one is fiber restriction for the first 4 to 8 weeks. Eliminate high FODMAP foods. Avoid insoluble fiber sources. Limit fermentable fibers and focus on easily digestible foods. Foods you want to emphasize are well-cooked white rice, easier to digest than brown, peeled and cooked vegetables, bone broth and gelatin-rich foods, easily digestible proteins, and small amounts of soluble fiber like psyllium husk for some people. Phase two is gradual reintroduction, weeks 8 through 16. Slowly add back fiber sources one at a time. Monitor symptoms with each addition. Start with less fermentable fibers and build up a tolerance gradually. And then personalized fiber plan ongoing. Include only fibers that don't trigger symptoms. Focus on diversity rather than quantity. Adjust based on gut health status and regular monitoring and adjustment. This approach allows your gut to heal without constantly feeding the problems. The right fibers for gut healing. Once your gut is healed, here are the fibers that actually support gut health. Beneficial fiber sources like psyllium husk, which is gentle, forms protective gel, doesn't ferment rapidly. Acai fiber, prebiotic that selectively feeds beneficial bacteria. Partially hydrolyzed guar gum, well-tolerated prebiotic fiber. Cooked and cooled sweet potatoes, resistant starch in moderation. Well-cooked carrots, gentle and non-irritating fiber. Here are some preparation methods that help. Cook vegetables thoroughly to break down tough fibers. Peel fruits and vegetables to reduce insoluble fiber. Ferment foods to pre-digest fibers like sauerkraut and kimchi. Start with small amounts and increase gradually, and combine with digestive enzymes if needed. So, timing strategies are: you want to eat fiber early in the day when digestion is strongest. Don't combine with high fiber foods with other hard to digest foods. Take probiotics away from high fiber meals, and monitor symptoms and adjust accordingly. So here's some success stories. Sarah was a health coach who was eating massive amounts of vegetables and fiber supplements, had chronic bloating and SIBO. When she temporarily reduced her fiber and focused on gut healing, her symptoms resolved in 6 weeks. Mike, who was following a high fiber diet for his IBS as recommended by his doctor, saw symptoms worsen. When he switched to a low FODMAP, low fiber approach, his digestive symptoms improved dramatically. Lisa, who is drinking green smoothies and eating beans daily for gut health, discovered she had bacterial overgrowth. Reducing fermentable fibers allowed her antimicrobial treatments to work effectively. And then Tom, a fitness enthusiast eating high fiber protein bars and vegetables, had constant digestive distress. When he reduced fiber temporarily and focused on easily digestible foods, his gut finally healed. So here's the medical system's fiber obsession. Why does the medical system keep recommending more fiber when it makes people worse? Reason number one is outdated guidelines for fiber recommendations were based on population studies, not individual gut health status. They assume everyone has a healthy gut. Reason number two is one-size-fits-all mentality. Doctors aren't trained to personalize fiber recommendations based on gut microbiome status or digestive function. Lack of understanding. Most doctors don't understand SIBO, bacterial overgrowth, or how different fibers affect different gut conditions. And reason number four, industry influence. The food industry promotes high fiber processed foods as healthy, and this messaging influences medical recommendations. Reason number five is symptom suppression. Doctors focus on moving bowels rather than healing the underlying gut dysfunction that causes constipation. So, the personalized fiber approach, this is the key to personalizing your fiber intake based on your gut health status. If you have SIBO, follow a strict low FODMAP diet during the treatment. Avoid all fermentable fibers temporarily. Focus on antimicrobial treatments first and gradually reintroduce fibers after clearing overgrowth. If you have yeast overgrowth, avoid fibers that break down into sugars. Limit fruit and sweet vegetables. Focus on antifungal treatments and use non-fermentable fibers like psyllium. If you have inflammatory bowel disease or IBS, avoid insoluble fibers that irritate inflamed tissue. Use gentle soluble fibers. Focus on anti-inflammatory foods and work with a practitioner familiar with irritable bowel disease. If you have a healthy gut, gradually increase diverse fiber sources. Focus on prebiotic fibers that feed beneficial bacteria and include fermented foods. You also want to monitor how you feel and adjust accordingly. So, in closing, remember, just because something is considered healthy doesn't mean it's right for your gut at this moment. Sometimes less is more when it comes to healing. Listen to your body, reduce problematic fibers temporarily, and watch your gut health improve. I'm Dr. Todd Strong, and I'll see you in the next video where I reveal the one morning ritual that can heal your gut faster than any supplement. See you there.